Welcome, 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 trivalent beings of spirit, mind, and body. Time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solutions show, sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, also known as Proof. Its mission is to spread the trivalent understanding noetics, featuring stand-up philosophy that includes anthropology, psychology, biology, metaphysics, medicine, psychodrama, comedy, and music through a genre called edutainment, educating while entertaining, coined by KRS-One. The host of this wonderful show is Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MED-D1, and myself, co-host, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, MED-D2.
Back to start again. Wow. Reed Schweitzer.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the good vibe.
Yes.
I really feel
for the wishful
health.
Yes. Carla, thank you again. We pass our love back to you.
Yes.
Shelly K. Thank you so much for your support.
Yes.
You too, Kenya.
Darren Jones.
We're
with y'all.
Yes.
Unique Spirit. Yes, that's her.
Yes.
We are definitely there. Joe was magnificent. Oh, Lord, Reed says. Reed, I did not say that. I did not say that at all. Marjorie Trader Green was the one who gave Joe's line. Okay. But let me continue.
Yeah, we got somebody.
Oh, hello.
Engage
Random
with your
brother.
audience. Chat. Okay.
Oh, that's the boys. That's the twins.
Oh, that's the twins. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right
Twins.
then.
Mm-hmm.
You go
Cool,
then.
y'all. Cool.
Yes.
Peace.
Reed Schweitzer.
All right, y'all back. Cool.
Back. There you go. We love it.
Shelly K is back.
Well. And Random Brothers is and Reed is back, and everybody's
All
back.
right.
Yes, thank you so much. Now, I'm going to continue from where I was.
Well,
right,
Doc, before you continue,
yes, please.
Doc will go on and basically do his program for a little bit longer. Then we'll take calls because we running over now, y'all, because of technical difficulties.
We had to go back and do this.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Hey, I got down here. Forget what I think, say, or believe.
Wow.
That's what the next line is. Let's go straight to the source, line 44.5, that says, being indicted was like a badge of honor. Because I'm doing it for the country. I'm doing it for the people.
Yeah, right.
Now, I just want to ask a few questions in. Did the country steal its own records and lie about having it while obstructing the government's investigation?
Right.
Because that's what they said. You did. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Okay, another question. How, you said you did it for the people. How many of, quote, the people stored classified documents in their bedrooms, ballrooms, and bathrooms? I just want to know. I'm just curious like that. I just want to know. Did the country need 11,780 votes? Oh, let me do it like he did it. 11,000
plus one more.
780 votes, which is one more than I had. The country needed that? Or did the people think that fake electors would be a nice thing, a nice touch. Yes.
We need that wong, wong, wong.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or
that
did
what you needed?
that we needed that? Now I feel fulfilled. I feel whole. I feel, yeah. Did the country decide that what the people decided, that was who won the job of president, was not going to be decided on January the 6th? Is that what the country said? Because that's what you did. Mm-hmm. That's why you were indicted. Mm-hmm. Because those are the things that you said needed to be done. The country and the people said just the opposite of what you wanted to get done.
Just aside, go on YouTube. I believe it was on YouTube. Donald Trump's son.
Oh my God!
Reading the message or the chart, and he was reading it about against his father, not for his father. I'm not going to tell you. He did not understand what he was reading. Go and check.
I do not understand, and I should have been watching with my wife. I do not understand how he did what we saw. I do not understand how he did it at all. But you got to go there to yourself and see line 44.5 Junior talk bad about line 44.5. And he said it like he meant it. But let's get back to the thing at hand, the indictment. Line 44.5 says the indictment was like a badge of honor. I'm doing it for the country and doing it for the people. Now, look at this indictment. The indictment says, the people of the state of New York against. In the other Jack Smith indictment, it says the United States of America versus.
Right.
It shows the country and its people against / rivaling / opposite / conflicted by, excuse me for saying it, but Donald J. Trump. I don't like to say his name. He is not a whole person, so he can't be a whole president. That's why he is line 44.5. He's not the 45th. But the indictment says you're not doing this for the country or the people, because the country or the people didn't do the crimes that you're accused of. You did. Mm-hmm. And those crimes that you are accused of are against the country, any democracy, and the people, any democratic people. You are trying to make sure that the people don't have a voice.
Yes.
You're trying to make sure that the people don't get to vote. You're accused of trying to destroy the democracy and the vote because you didn't care about those things.
Kenya's back as well. Good.
Reed Schweitzer praying for my recovery. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Aww. I do. Unique Spirit loves us all. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay. Donald J. Trump, that's the last time I'm going to say it. His lies and his livings are against the Unitarian democratic principles of this nation and its peoples. Jack Smith's statement out of his mouth. Line 44.5 is parroting what Jack Smith is accusing him of. But his mind is on Georgia.
Georgia.
Georgia. Let me explain this to you. Line 44.5 has a no-lose situation. He cannot lose or his life is basically over. He can get to be president and pardon all of the stuff that Jack Smith is putting up against him and all of the other charges, except Georgia's. Because Georgia is a state charge. And the president cannot pardon state offenses, just federal ones.
Hallelujah.
That's why he's worried about Georgia. That's why he's given all of his time and attention to trying to get Fani Willis out of the position and trying to destroy all of the evidence that Ms. Willis has collected.
Yes.
Because he knows win or lose the presidency, this is what's going to cook his goose. That sister right there will be his end.
When we talked about these things for the importance of understanding when humanity is not addressed or paid attention to, then you have this kind of behavior that arrives. I'd like for you to go back to the Trivalent Understanding Noetics and talk a little bit more about that. We do have a slide on the Trivalent Understanding Noetics.
Okay. Trivalent Understanding Noetics. There it is. I feel it is time for the rest of civilization to make way for the newest golden age of mankind, based on the enabling, uplifting principles of the Trivalent Understanding Noetics. Tune. Noetic science, as I've told you 1,000 times, it is the science of faith, belief, and intention. It is not religious at all. It is about the principles upon which all religions function. How does your will work? How does your faith function? How do you take what you intend and turn it into your reality? It makes use of what all human beings know and gives you understanding about how you function. It makes you aware of how your spirit controls your mind. And it is your mind and spirit that control your body. About 20 some odd years ago, I was told by all the best physicians at the Veterans Administration that I had about a year or two of being able to stand. They said my spinal stenosis would cause me to not be able to walk within a year, and immediately after that I would not be able to stand upright. That was in 2002. I've been able to do all of the things that I wanted to do and a whole lot more. I've been able to work out, I've been able to run, do Tai Chi, teach martial arts, and teach all the other stuff, not to mention performing all over the planet for the last 20 some odd years, simply because I had understandings about how my spirit and mind coordinated the functioning of my body that most of my physicians had never heard of. Not most of them, all of them. None of them have heard of noetic science. That's not what they're taught. But this is the ability that human beings have had since the first man and woman walked upon this planet. It has been something that no human being has had a very good understanding of until now. About 5,000 years ago, they were teaching the beginnings of this in Kemet. Now we are teaching the rest of it here in America. I was nominated for the $10 million prize in innovation called the X Prize for coming up with the Trivalent Understanding Noetics, and as a result was invited to attend the United Nations Incentive to Innovation Conference at UN headquarters in New York. That help?
That helped.
Okay.
I'm sure it helped everyone else as well.
Well, this is the place where that is supposed to be inserted. Human beings are supposed to get this understanding now.
Yes.
And it is our job to give it. Just like it was our ancestors' job to give this to pink people when they first came to Alkebulan about 2,000 years ago. But our ancestors didn't do it. They were supposed to. They did not carry out what their assignment was.
Mm-hmm. And Carla's back to, hey, Carla.
Hey, Carla! As a result of our ancestors not carrying out their responsibility, we have that responsibility now.
Yes.
My job is to teach pink people their being.
Yes.
Because the world that we live in now is ready to change.
Yes.
We need to understand the difference between listening and hearing. The difference is using your spirit to make images out of what you hear. That's called listening. Your purpose for being here needs to be formalized, and you need to understand that you have a purpose for being here. Some stuff you're supposed to be doing with this life. All of those things are things that we are bringing to humanity right now because this is the world that we are living in. Come to think of it, that's the name of a song.
Yes.
Hey, Doc, I was going to ask you before we go to the song, can you explain what you mean when you say pink people? I know we've done it on the show before, but for new listeners and people who might not understand that, my understanding is you're not talking about so-called white people when you say pink people. But go ahead.
Let me explain it to you. Until about 200 years ago, there was no such thing as white people. Europeans did not consider themselves to be white, period, until about 200 years ago. No human being is the color of this paper. No, that is wrong. To call someone white is to lie.
Yes.
They are not white, and I refuse to participate in any type of lie, especially when it has to do with science, history, anthropology, biology. All of these have been my favorite subject since I was about maybe 3 years old.
And spiritual well-being, those images.
Yeah, that's totally a separate issue. But let's go there. Your spirit. Your spirit does three main things. Your spirit enables, your spirit protects, and your spirit visualizes or imagines. Those are the three things your spirit does. The one that we are most familiar with is imagining. Anytime you look at an image inside yourself, when you imagine an image, that is not your mind doing that. Scientists have been looking for something called an engram for about 2 decades. This is your mind's ability to create images, and it doesn't exist. And we have not found it because it doesn't exist. This is a part of and a participle of your spirit's abilities. Your spirit imagines. Now, do you want your spirit to imagine accurately? Do you want it to imagine culturally? Do you want it to imagine socially? How do you want it to imagine? I want my spirit to imagine accurately, scientifically, realistically. I'm not going to call green red. I'm not going to call pink white. I'm not going to call brown black. I'm not going to do that. It's inaccurate. It's somewhat juvenile. And it taints my spirit. I'm not going to do that. Now, Europeans are generally pink, but they were never considered to be white. And according to the people who made this country, most Europeans were not white. According to a statement that I've read on this program at least twice from Benjamin Franklin, white people, when Ben Franklin, this is 1770 some odd, white people were Englishmen, some Scotsmen, and I think it was one other group. I can't think of the other group.
Russians?
No, it wasn't Russian. Definitely wasn't Russian. Okay. Ben Franklin, in a letter talking about quote unquote white people, said Germans, Spaniards, Italians.
Oh, thank you.
Irish.
Mm-hmm. Brother Matthew.
Matt.
Yeah, Kendall. Matt. Kendall. So glad to see you guys back on the air. God bless you. Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
us to be here.
Thank you so much. We received that.
He says,
yes,
wishing
indeed.
you a speedy recovery, you all and your family.
Love you, and
yes.
we love you too,
Yes.
and you are part of our family.
Yes, yes.
Please finish explaining, Doc. Pink.
Okay. Pink is not a race. Pink is a color. All Europeans whose parents are from Europe, who have their genetic and DNA history in Europe, what color are they? If you're just talking about color, they are pink. And I dare anyone who is of that geographic area to show me anybody, now, past, whatever, who is white. I am a doctor, and anybody who is that color is coming to see me to figure out how in the hell can they get some color. All human beings have color. But unfortunately, if you speak English, you are a racist. Because if you speak English, I do, you believe that white is virginal, spotless, unsullied, pure, and all those synonyms for white. And on the other hand, you believe that black is evil, mean, unscrupulous, untruthful, and all the negative things that black means in English. Anybody who only speaks English is a racist, because English teaches you that white is right and black is bad. And we have found this out on so many different occasions when we would give that little dial test to preschool children.
Yes.
Preschool children, every one of them's already a racist.
Yeah.
You give them the dial test where you got a brown dial, a pink dial, a brown dial, a black dial, a pink dial, and a white dial. And you ask the preschool, which one's the cutest? White. Mm-hmm. Which one's smart? White. Mm-hmm. Which one is stupid? Black. Mm-hmm. Which one is ugly? Black.
Mm-hmm. We got a phone call.
We got a phone call.
Before we take this call, Doc, I want you to elaborate, because it seemed like almost like you're creating them, and they're kind of like change the narrative of black and white.
Yes.
Something that really, something that really means the reality of the thing.
It is true. black and white is a lie.
And that's the part of the show you was talking about today.
Duh. I have seen maybe 2 black people in my life.
Right.
That were actually black.
Jet black.
Mm-hmm. But they are very, very rare. They are very, very rare in Alkebulan. Alkebulan is a place that most people call Africa. I don't speak like most people. I don't use the terms that most people speak. I am smarter than most people. I have been smarter than most people since I was born.
Doc, 2 other things real quick before we get to the call. Most people you were saying that think they're pink or think they're white aren't really pink or white.
No.
Elaborate on that a little bit, please.
Okay. DNA USA, a book that was written by authors from Oxford University in England. They came to the United States and did DNA analysis of about 4,500 people. And they found that 100% of every person who thought they were, quote, white, who came from cities in the South, all had sub-Saharan Alkebulanese DNA. Now let me explain that to everybody. Everybody in America who thinks they're white that came from the Confederate South actually got black DNA. Actually have African DNA.
Alkebulanese.
African.
Right.
Well, I want to explain it to them in words that they'll understand. I'm going to get there.
Okay.
Actually has Alkebulanese DNA. Actually, they are hybrids, which is the vast majority of this nation. This nation was created to make hybrids. This nation was created so that Europeans, Orientals, and Alkebulanese could all come to this place and interbreed. The motto of the United States of America, when the United States of America was first formed in 1770 some odd, was E pluribus unum. And thanks to Miss Temple, my high school Latin teacher, I understand that that means from many, one. From many, E pluribus. That's from many. Unum, one. From many nations, from many races, from many cultures, from many colors, from many people. One. And that one person is going to be called an American. And that one person called an American will be a mixture of all the races, cultures, religions, and everything else on this planet. Wow. That was the reason for this place. That was the motto of the United States of America until 1954, I think it was, when they realized that according to that motto, Americans would look like me and they wouldn't look pink. And soon as pink leaders realized that, they changed the motto from E pluribus unum to In God We Trust.
Doc.
Uh-huh.
So we about to go to this call. I did want to say one other thing. I want you to address one other thing.
Please go right ahead.
When people, I've heard this about our show sometimes. People hear the word pink and they automatically, I guess, they tune in for a minute, they get turned off.
Good.
And it's like, well, what you're saying, when you, I like the show, I like what you're saying, but when you say pink, that sounds racist or divisive. Divisive. What would you say to something like that? Why are people getting who are hearing that word pink automatically getting turned off and labeling the show divisive? Because I wouldn't be a part of a divisive show. I don't think you would.
Excuse me. Let me explain, my brother. These are racist. These people are racist.
They speak English.
Because they are making a statement of negative impact about color. And I'm supposed to be stupid about that. I'm supposed to not see that you're making a negative statement about color. I'm not supposed to understand that. I'm not supposed to realize that you don't want to accept reality. I'm supposed to not understand that the truth of your own being you don't want to hear. And that stupidity is supposed to move me? Let me explain two things. Number one, ignorance. Ignorance means not understanding. This is often confused with stupidity, which means not wanting to understand. When you don't want to understand, that is called being stupid.
Wow.
Pink is reality. You are pink if you are Caucasian. That is the color that you have. I have a color that's brown. I have no problem with reality. Anybody that does, they got a problem with themselves. Ain't got a damn thing to do with pink or me. You are a racist by definition. You are negatively attaching feelings to a color.
Could we take that call now?
Yes. Caller, who's calling and what's your question?
Greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Who's calling?
This is Tyra.
Tyra!
I didn't recognize you at first.
I knew it was you. I just wanted you to say it. That's my sister, Tyra Tate. Tyra Tate.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Tyra, are you married?
I'm married, yes.
Then your last name ain't Tate, is it?
No, I'm sorry.
Young.
Tyra Tate Young.
Okay, then. All right, because you have already gotten on your brother about throwing Tate around and just sticking it on folks. So.
Don't get wrong, I love Tate. That's my daddy's name, so I love it.
Okay, then. All right, then. Please, ma'am, you have a question for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solutions show?
Yes, I'm kind of late signing on, but when I did sign on, you were saying something about our purpose. How do we find our purpose, and should we even be concerned with finding our purpose? Is that like a real important thing? Or
purpose.
Purpose. Okay.
Purpose.
Let me explain that in two different ways. I'm going to explain it historically and anthropologically, then I'm going to explain it personally. Okay?
Okay.
Anthropologically and historically. I am an indoctrinated Akan. I went to Larte, a mountain village in Ghana, and got the scars on my arm and new name, Abrafo Kweku Amwa. That is my Akan name. Abrafo is my title. Kweku is my cosmic name. And my last name, Amwa, simply means the generous. Now, I'm saying all of that because the Akan, which originally started on the east coast of Alkebulan and migrated through the middle of Alkebulan all the way to the west coast, they, about 4, maybe 4,500 years ago, were describing the parts of humanity that make us up and how those parts function in our being. One of the major things was a portion called the Sun Sum. Let me give you all 4 portions. Mojada or Mojaya, Intoro, Sun Sum, Okra. Your Sun Sum is supposed to be your purpose. And everybody before they are born are in a Y.O.U, and they have an audience between the Most High and the ancestors. And they have to explain to the Most High and the ancestors why they need to be born. There must be a reason, a purpose for their living, something that they're supposed to be here doing. Now, in Alkebulan, when a woman got pregnant, soon as she found out she was pregnant, her job was to go to the medicine man. And the medicine man was to go into a trance and talk to the person that's in her womb and ask that being what is their purpose. Why are they coming here? What is the reason that they are being born? This is necessary so that the tribe and family can support this being in their purpose and remind this being when they get here what that purpose is supposed to be. They give him generally or her a name that relates to that purpose. Now, that's anthropologically, historically. Let me give you personally. I died. August 67. I got blown up. I was in a OP and a rocket-propelled grenade came in and exploded and tore a hole in my side and in my hip, and I bled to death. If it hadn't been for a crazy Hawaiian by the name of John Kalama, who actually shot a corpsman in the leg and made them take me out of the body bag and resuscitate me, I would have stayed dead. But John was crazy. He was my buddy. I didn't see him till about 15, 20 years later in Alabama, but that's a whole nother story. John made him take me out, resuscitate me, put me on a helicopter. They put me on a plane, and I got shipped to Japan, Camp Zama. I'm in Camp Zama about a month and a half later, and the memory of what happened when I died came back to me. When I died, I went through the tunnel, you know, with the light at the end, and yeah, I'm just like everybody. I'm going to the tunnel, and I come out into this wonderful, wonderful place. Imagine the best sex you've ever had in your life. Not the nut that you got after the best sex, but that warm afterglow that you felt after that nut. Oh, that's what a Y.O.U feels like.
Wow.
That's what being there feels like. I am in this warm, light-filled place, and this being right in front of me is explaining to me that I'm not supposed to be there. Now, they're not using words. They're using pictures. They're using images. When you leave here and go to a Y.O.U, you don't have a throat and lungs anymore, so you can't talk like you normally talk here. They send images and communicate through their spirits by the images that their spirits create. And they were telling me, you're not supposed to be here. You still got more to do. You're supposed to be yada, 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 and so forth and so on. And your purpose was to do that, yada, yada, and you need to go back and do so forth and so on. Now, they're telling me this, and they're using energy to start to send me back to this reality. I am fighting. I am kicking. I'm using elbows. I'm using all sorts of martial arts because I don't want to leave. Nobody wants to leave Y.O.U. As soon as you get there, it's the best place that you could ever possibly be. Nobody ever wants to leave. And I fought like a fool because I didn't want to leave till they put me back down here in that helicopter, and I woke up in the helicopter as they were flying me away from the battlefield where I got killed. Now, that's my own personal experience with purpose, because they told me my purpose was not accomplished and my purpose needed to be done. That's why I'm here right now doing my purpose.
Does that help, Tai?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, how do you find out? How do I find out? Because that's your purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Now, believe it or not, we teach people how to do that. That's one of the first lessons that you learn in the Trivalent Understanding Noetics. And I would need to talk to you person to person to explain the procedure, but we teach you to communicate with the Most High. We teach you not only to ask God specific questions like, what is my purpose? We teach you how to listen to God. Again, listening is spiritual. Listening is making images of the meanings of the things you hear. We teach you how to listen to the Most High. And one of the most important aspects of listening to the Most High is moving yourself out the fucking way, because we are our worst enemies. We feed ourselves bullshit. We feed ourselves emotions. We feed ourselves ego-stroking things that we want, don't need. We feed ourselves what we have been trained to do. And unfortunately, that noise, constant, us thinking, us talking to ourselves, crowds out and
wears us down.
Basically shouts out any communications from the Most High or the ancestors. Because you're used to listening to you, you're not used to listening to them, and you are louder than they are in your mind and spirit. We will teach you, Tai, when you come into Cleveland?
Next week.
Next week?
Wedding.
Okay, for the wedding. As soon as you get here, I'll teach you how to do it. I'll teach you how to listen to the Most High and how to make sure that you not only know, but understand your purpose. Now, hold on. Just an insight. As I told you, that's one of the first things that we do in our classes for the Trivalent Understanding Noetics, is teach you how to listen to God, to your higher power, by whatever name you know your higher power. We teach you how to listen to that. Now, one of the things that I do after I teach you to listen is I ask you, what do you believe your purpose is? And I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. Then after you write down what you think your purpose is, I'll take you through the procedure of asking the Most High what your purpose is. And you write that down. In every case, and we are going back, 10, 15 years, in every case in which the individual listened to the Most High, what the Most High said their purpose was different than what they said it was, but more importantly, what the Most High said their purpose was usually includes what they say their purpose is. And this is consistent for 10 years. I can't make this stuff up. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it sounds wonderful. I can't wait.
Okay then, hot dog. We own it. Now, can we sing This Is the World We Live In?
Yes, unless Tyra has her second question.
You got a second question, T?
No.
Okay then.
I love the song.
All right then, we about to sing.
All right.
Thank you, Tyra.
Yes, thank you.
Love you, Tyra.
Love you.
I can't wait for you to get here.
Tyra Tate Young, give it up for you.
Give it up, yo!
Yeah.
Good.
And we can hear the dog in the background, so
Yeah.
we know you got a new dog.
Okay. Ready for what's the song we're doing today?
The song is an explanation of the difference between the way that we're living in this world and the way that we can live in this world. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. You can choose to go above it with the trivalent understanding noetics. And it's time for most of you to go there. This explains it.
Hip Hop Trio.
Plus.
This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. Life has a purpose before we even came to existence. Everybody had a mission that we said we had to do. Beg the Most High to come back so that we can serve and fulfill what we said we here to do. But no, life isn't easy like that. We came into this world with a bunch of challenges, but luckily enough, the Most High got us blessed, giving us a grace that we naturally possess. So why do we sit around acting like we don't? Got so many gifts that we naturally own. We get here for greater things, we can feel it in the soul. Gotta go deep, gotta search the unknown. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. Taught to obey, given paths to follow, not based on you. It's all kind of hollow. Your own understanding is best for your being. It's all about knowing. It's all about seeing that you. God sees the best. You believe it's all in your hands. Don't be deceived.
Well, I got a few questions, because I really been guessing. What would you do if you really knew you? We're on a mission.
Teaching you to listen.
Make images of what you hear.
Listening to spirit.
Not mind.
It hears it, forgot what I feel.
Not near.
To the power of you, release.
This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. This is the world we live in. You can choose to transcend it. You can choose.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Trivalent understanding noetics allows you to transcend this reality. We do it every day, and we live on miracles every day. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. Learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so easy for you to learn to be you. It is so You. Y-O-U. That's what we teach you. Your own understanding. Y-O-U. That's what you came here to learn.
Yes. Ashe.
Okay, give us a call at area code 216.
Well, we're at the end of our time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're through then.
Yes.
375-2742 if you want to get in the class and transcend it.
And also go to #WokenInTune on YouTube.
Right.
All right.
Like us, share us, subscribe.
Yes.
Please do.
There you go. Okay, are we through?
Great show. Thanks everybody for listening, tuning in. Like Doc said, please spread and share this.
Yes, please.
We are evolving humanity one show at a time.
One show at a time. I love it. I love it. That was well said. That was very well said. Until then, next time, if the Lord says the same and my auto accident don't start showing up, we got to wish y'all peace. And that stands for proper education always corrects error. Peace, y'all.
Oh, you made it to the end of the video. Well, I am tired a little bit differently. I'm dressed as Baba Amwa. If you would like more of your own understanding, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
And go to the sites that we have listed around us. The Most High is good.
And the ancestors are kind.
Thanks
for having us on your minds.
Peace.